Hello, my name is Rebecca and I have Myokranski-Kuster-Haldre syndrome, MRKH for short. I hope I've said that right. It's German, so don't judge me, I can't always say it correctly. It was actually named after the 4 doctors that discovered the condition over a 130-year period. So I was diagnosed when I was around 16 years old. I'm 26 now, and I have had a lot to deal with over the past years living with the condition. So recently I have been working on producing my first ever short film, along with the support of Splendid Isolation Productions. And honestly, to make the short film happen would mean the absolute world to me, because when I was diagnosed in 2015, 16, I'll have to double check, but I know I was diagnosed in May of one of those 2 years. And when I was diagnosed, there wasn't really any sources out there to go to, and this is also why I want to make this short film happen, so there's something small out in the community to help everyone really in general struggling with any condition really, specifically MRKH, but any condition really that makes it difficult for people to live normal lives like myself. Like, my short film will basically show the character going through experiences living with her condition which other people haven't really gone through, but some things can go through, they can still go through as well. So it's really getting that support to make the film happen really. So it would mean absolute world for me if you could share my crowdfunder and maybe donate if you can. And I just want to help so many people out in the world with my condition, to make them realise that they are not on their own, and there's a whole community of girls out there like myself with the condition. So yeah, it would mean the absolute world for this short film to happen. And it's just difficult. One of those things really is, you know, being told at 16 you have this condition, you know, being told at that age I did not have my womb. That was a really big deal for me. I didn't know how to understand it. Like, I sort of still have the anxiety of the uncertainty of my future regarding family and those sorts of things, because at 16 years old you're sort of learning at school that obviously you one day you'll get married, you'll have children, you'll live happy lives. And I knew there was something wrong with me when I was 12 years old. I had this gut feeling that there was something wrong with my body. And it wasn't until I was 16 years old where they actually started listening to me and, you know, taking me for tests, scans, and that lot. Like, I remember I had an ultrasound. I was told my womb was smaller than it should be. So I had a bit of relief then. I was like, oh, thank goodness it's there. I'm still developing. And then I had an MRI scan to be told it wasn't there at all, which is hard, I will admit. You know, being born like this, like, you know, I'm happy to be here. Like, it sucks that I don't have that, but it doesn't change who I am as a person. So I always continue to pursue my career in acting, and I've wanted to be an actor since I was a little girl. and now I'm gone from acting at the moment to producing, which is like another dream for me really, because I always knew when I was first diagnosed with MRKH that I'd one day make a short film about it, about my experiences and that. So I hope it's something that will help other girls and other people really, especially also mental health, because mental health has a big impact on me. Like, I'm fine now, but I don't know, I have the odd 1 or 2 days where I'd be really upset, like especially say there's triggers, like I'm still learning my triggers, like say if I am, I don't know, if I go into like Primark or somewhere and I walk past like the baby clothes and I see this little cute baby grow or these cute little booties and I'm like, oh, that's so cute, but then I get that feeling of, oh, it's not that easy for me, because the only way I can have my own children is if I have IVF for a surrogate, adopt, or potentially in the future have a uterus transplant, which is still in the testing stages. I believe there has been some done, but that's also not under the NHS at the moment, but it will be in the future. But it is really hard living with this condition. And you know, I just keep thinking positive. I think all the other good things I have going on in my life, and I just got to keep going and pushing with this film. Like, money doesn't just magic a switch. What's the word? Money doesn't just happen with a flick of a switch. I've just got to work hard to push and get myself out there really, you know. I don't care about the fame and all that. I just want this story to be out there, because I don't want people within the next generation or presently to struggle like I did, because I was a complete mess when I was 16. There was things I didn't understand. I wasn't having much luck in relationships because, yeah, it's just one of those things really, you know. To be told at 16, you know, you don't have this. But as well, it wasn't just, how can I put it? It wasn't just, you know, no womb, because obviously the condition also affects certain parts of your body to not be developed properly. I did have trouble to begin with IMSI, so obviously I had to go through like dilation treatment, which wasn't the best thing, especially being 16 years old, and it was one of those things where I just made it part of my routine, I guess. But I don't really like to talk about that. I don't mind, but it's not something I want to massively talk about, because yes, that has affected me, but it's other things that have affected me more deeply, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I'm glad I've done this video, you know. Bit of a chatting to myself, and hopefully people will see this and hopefully reach out to me, because that's why I'm filming this. I know it's not the best standard, but I think if you get the idea of how I'm feeling day to day, you know, someone's gonna notice me somewhere.